Just woke up, not feeling so good. But what woke me up is memories of how people act so evil and then try to attack me by using my mother's fantasies against me. So, one key fact to keep in mind is at the age of 5 years old to 7, my mother was calling me a fire setter, she was calling me a thief, she was calling me a liar, she was saying I had attachment disorder, she was drugging me on multiple medications, she was giving me overdoses, she gave me a full bottle of Apocac as punishments, and then at the age of 7, she trafficked me to Texas, and then trafficked me to New Mexico, and then trafficked me to Maine. So I stayed in Texas for about 2 years, I stayed in New Mexico for about 2 years, and I stayed in Maine for less than a year. Then we went to Massachusetts, stayed there for about 6 months, then Maine for 3 months, then Massachusetts for 6 months, then a different place in Massachusetts, then a different place. Now, knowing all that, oh boy do I have a record from age 5 to 19. It's all made up. I was easily manipulated and twisted. Like, I tried to light a match in a closet. Just light a match. I wanted to see it glow. Other people were lighting candles. I wanted to see this thing I never saw in the orphanage. My mother turned that into I'm burning the house down. And then literally had it established on my medical record at age 5 that I'm a fire setter. Age 5 years old. I'm just playing with a match like my nephew. My nephew doesn't have this on his record, and he was playing with a lighter. So, at age 5, I play with a match. My mother twisted into a bunch of shit when she finds out. Starts manipulating me right after the get-go. But my nephew, when I caught him with a lighter, playing with lighters and bringing them to school at the age of 5, you know what I did? I told him he shouldn't do that. I told him my mother put me in a hospital and had needles injected to me because I played with a match. And then I went to his mother and told him that she needs to have a discussion with the lighter situation. Now, which way do you think is better? Making up a story that your son is a fire setter and trying to burn a house down, trying to yell at him until he just agrees with you, twisting his mind and with drugs and all this shit so he's so confused he has no clue what's going on. Or bringing him and telling him that that's a bad idea and leaving it at that. Well, certainly not beat the fuck out of your kid with a backhand and a ruler, tell everybody that he's some burning the house down kid, and then fucking drug the shit out of him, and then try to lie about your mistakes. But this is exactly what my mother did. So here's the problem. She continued this at age 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh, sorry, 19. It stops at age 19 because at that point she killed herself with drugs and alcohol, which my father made sure to hide by locking me in the house, not letting me out of the house to visit my dying mother. And on top of that, I wasn't even allowed to really discuss this with any of the doctors or any people around me. That's how he hid her alcoholism at her death, even though I'm sure the doctor saw alcohol in her blood. But then again, she was dying in a hospital she worked at 35 years prior. So they don't want to put that on her record, especially with the father crying and yelling all the time. So they did him a favor. But they did me a big injustice. I'm going to have to suffer in a woman's fantasy land for the rest of my life. And on top of that, anytime anybody wants to avoid responsibility, all they have to do is make up another story and people go with it. People go with this nonsense. It makes me so angry that people go with nonsense, fantasies, bullshit. They're willing to put massive amounts of drugs into a child, a teenager, and an adult's body on the words that are made up by an adopted mother who's not even spending time to get her know her child. Literally, I won a swimming medal in an orphanage. That's it. I won a swimming medal in an orphanage. You know what my mother did when I tried to show her that? She told all the doctors I was a liar, a thief, that it wasn't stole my accomplishment, my swimming medal away from me. Told me that this must be an African American kid swimming medal because I'm not good enough to do it. And on top of this, then she went to doctors telling them I must have an attachment disorder because my old last name is on the swimming medal. This is how fucking crazy my mother was. Then she goes around saying that I'm lying about her lying because she didn't see me win it. Fuck, you've only known me for less than a year. What the fuck is wrong with you? You just adopted me. I literally just came out of foster care for 5 years in orphanages. I had a whole life before you, cunt. But guess what? My mother wants to act like an abusive cunt. And please excuse my language. But when somebody spends 15 years lying, and those lies become permanent, and you have to live in a crazy woman's fantasy land as she kills herself. And now, still to this day, after she's been dead for 11 years, when I try to go to the doctors for help, I have to continue living in her fucking bullshit. So when you hear me say very mad things, or when I'm having trouble explaining myself, keep in mind I've been forced to live a lie for 25 fucking years. And this lie is my mother. I'm mentally ill. I got depression. I got this. My mother says I got this. My mother says I got that. My mother says I got this. My mother says I got that. My mother's beating me with a ruler. My mother gave me medicine. I'm having side effects, but my mother says don't report it. Don't blame it on the meds. The doctors are doubling my meds when I tell them I'm having heart palpitations, headaches. I'm being brought to emergency rooms at age 16, being given Vicodin. What do you think my mother does when the emergency room gives her 16-year-old child Vicodin? She takes him herself. She says that she has to bring him to her closet and she starts popping her in herself. And when I try to tell people, she lies. She says she's not doing it. So I have to catch her red-handed. I have to stake her out, catch her red-handed doing it. And if by the way, because my father knows that my mother was able to do this to me, he'll try to lie too. He'll try to lie about her drinking. He'll try to lie about her pill popping. But this is the thing. I brought it up in front of the Department of Health and Human Services worker. And my father admitted that it was just one time. Even though it was 100 times, that's what he said to the DMH worker and the doctors. It only happened one time. His mother only popped his Vicodin one time. Well, how about the fact I'm having side effects putting me in the emergency room? How about the fact that my mother is popping opiates that aren't even hers? How about we talk about that? Oh no. Let's talk about made-up mental illnesses to take the attention off of my mother and then fuck up my life some more. Let's get me some more drugs that fuck up my head, right? So I'm more confused and I'm more fuzzy. Let's fuck up my brain a little more so I don't have impulse control. Let's give me some more Xanax. Let's give me some more Thorazine. Let's give me some more Seroquel. Let's give me some more Zyprexa. Let's give me some more Risperidone. Let's give me some more Lamictal. Let's give me some more Ritalin and Adderall. And so much more. Antidepressants, antipsychotics up the woohoo. And this started at age 5. Age 5 I was on those type of meds. A 5-year-old literally has an overdose from a combination of medications that his mother gave him. And what is the mother's reaction? Oh, traffic me to Texas. Do not call an ambulance when the doctors say call an ambulance or bring me to the emergency room. But she didn't want to bring me. Why would a mother not want to bring her son, who's dying on the floor, can't see out of his eyeballs, lost the ability of all speech, can't stand up, and there's clearly something fucking emergency level wrong? Why, when this mother calls the doctor's office and the doctor's office tells her to bring me to the emergency room, why would she say, "You don't know what you're talking about," and hang up? She obviously did know that that was the protocol because she used to be a nurse. So she definitely knows when her kid is dying from a medication allergy attack or whatever she wants to make up her story this time. Because, by the way, my mother was a hell of a storyteller. She was a hell of a motherfucking liar. Now, if you look at the records of Patricia and Zachary and my family, you'll just see that my mother called me a liar, called me a thief, and then in the meetings I called her a liar, I called her a liar, and I called her a liar. Now, if you go over the facts, of what happened each time, it's very clear what she's fucking doing. She's trying to avoid responsibility, and now I have to live at the age of fucking 31 in this fucking woman's fantasy. She's dead now, and I still have to face her fantasy every time I go to the doctor, every time I try to report a crime, anytime I do anything. Her fucking lies are all there. And then my aunt and my father go, "Oh no, those were wiped out at 18. My medical records were wiped out at 18? Yes, this is what my father and his new wife says. They make up even more bullshit. Like that my medical records will just disappear at 18. Or that my shaking and seizures on the side of the road, or the fact that I haven't been able to drive ever. At the age of 31, I still can't keep my arms and legs steady enough to drive. But all that is a fantasy. It doesn't matter. No, I must be driving on the side or something. I must be lying about the fact I don't drive, right? Nope, I've never had a license. That's easy to look up. I must be lying about my mother dying of liver failure, right? I must be lying about that. Nope, this is easy to look up with a death certificate. Not only that, these people will call my doctors, call the people I'm asking for help with, and make things worse. They'll say I'm lying, I'm manipulating, and then the doctor will drop out. I had a doctor called Dr. Hoth, and I gave that name so that the doctor could give information to my father that was real. And guess what? They reversed it. They got the doctor to drop out of my case. I'm not even fucking kidding. They got the doctor to drop out. I don't know what they fucking said. I don't know what was on my file to get this fucking doctor to drop out on a severely seizure, bleeding. The stuff that was reported was very severe, and he was very happy to work with me until my family got involved and until he started looking through the old records. So, this is what they do. This is what my mother and father do, and this is what his third wife does. They try to kill their son. They lie about their son so that they can stay happy and rich, partying and having fun. And then I have to go die and get hit, seizures, fucking beatings, not able to drive, not able to walk, not able to move, not able to talk, just dying someplace again while an ambulance brings me to the hospital. But I don't make any sense because my neurological disorder is not written down still. Everything that's wrong with me has been hidden. It's been hidden and hidden. And I swear to God, I am not going down without a fight. I am not letting some motherfuckers make me live in their fucking fantasy land. No. Get out of your fucking fantasy land already and start living in the real world. The real world sounds like what I am playing on this recorder. That's the real motherfucking world. You don't give a child this many medications and then go, "Oh no, nothing went wrong." You don't move a child all the way to fucking 6 different states and then go, "Well, why do no doctors know about it?" Because you guys kept on lying and trafficking and manipulating. You guys have more money than me, more attorneys. You guys are willing to lie and break Jesus' heart. I'm not willing to break Jesus' heart. I'm not willing to watch any of my wives or girlfriends fuck up a kid's health to the point where he loses 40 years of his life, can't walk, can't move, can't drive. I'm not willing to drug a child and move him to Texas. I'm not willing to lie and manipulate. But that's the problem. I only can speak the truth. My father and mother, my father and his third wife, they can point at a document from 10 years ago, twist it, and make it seem like something else. They know what happened, so what they can do is they can take old information they made up and they can twist it so I can't get the help I need now. And that's exactly what they're doing. That's exactly what my mother and father like doing. They like preventing me from getting the truth out. So that way nobody ever knows what really happened. They all believe this motherfucking fantasy. Like lighting a match is burning the house down. 10 years later, when I'm about 13, 14, I do a science experiment. I see on a TV that a slug is born from fire. The Romans used to believe that slugs were born from fire because after the fire was out, a bunch of newborn slugs would crawl out. So I said, oh, slugs are fireproof. Well, maybe we can make a fire extinguisher or a fire jacket with that. Even though as a child I was thinking fire jacket. I wasn't thinking extinguisher. That came many, many later. Anyways, what do you think my mother did about this? Holding a match to a slug to see if it's fireproof. She said I was burning animals. I must be a serial killer. I explained all this to her, and she blew it out of proportion. Other people told her to calm down, but she didn't. She put me in a mental institution for it, for just holding a match to a slug. That's all I did. She asked me if I wanted to hurt it. I told her no. I never want to hurt any animals. I love animals. I love cats. I love dogs. I'm somebody who gives his life to kids and stuff. I literally work with disabled children. I would never, ever hurt a living being unless it was fireproof. Then it's not getting hurt. A slug doesn't have a nervous system, I thought, and it was fireproof. There's no reason not to do that to make this world-saving gear. I mean, if I could save the world, I mean, how do you think fire extinguishers and science things are invented? It's the scientific method. You come up with a theory, slug slime is fireproof, and then you test your theory. And I explained this fully to them, that my mother knew exactly what I was doing. I gave her the exact truth, but then she lied and made it into some bullshit on record. Oh, Zach is crazy, Zach is crazy, Zach is crazy. Drug him some more, drug him some more, drug him some more. Why are you drugging your son some more? Because he did the scientific method and brought a match to a slug at the age of 14. Why is he a firebug at the age of 5? Because he lit a match. Those are the worst things I ever did. Now, what does it say on my file? It says I'm some type of crazy serial killer and that I burn down houses. Well, where is this motherfucking house I burnt down? Show me one motherfucking burn picture of one motherfucking house I burnt down. No, not at age 5, not at age 6, not at age 7, not at age 8, not at age 9, not at age 10, not at age 11, not at age 12. Nothing, not at age 13, not at age 14. The worst thing I ever burnt in my whole life was a fucking race car. Worst thing. Meanwhile, I watched neighbors making Molotovs out of cologne bottles in Texas and throwing them. I watched another neighbor burn things in the fucking road. We had another neighbor next door who wanted to do this stuff. I've heard there's so many kids who I caught lighting fires in my school who were talking about how they had lighters or matches. I mean, kids are curious with fire. But when you lie and manipulate and drug, it makes it so harder for your son to know what's going on. When your son gives you honest answers and then you make up motherfucking lies that get him hurt for life, and then you drink and pill yourself to death, and then your husband lies to cover that up with the doctors and literally locks you into the house so you can't visit. I literally, for the last 3 months of my mother's life, I was refused to visit her. I called a bunch of rides. Nope, I was literally not allowed to leave the house one bit. Nope, not for my own mother's dying. And you know why my father didn't want that? Because I knew too much. I knew too much. I still know too much. He said they're really pissed off now that I'm speaking up about this. I'm pretty sure that my father and his third wife are taking evasive action right now. I bet they're calling everybody to try to fuck me over good. They're certainly not trying to help me. The last time I asked them to speak to my doctor, the doctor bailed out right after. I mean, literally, bailed on me. This is my neurologist. This is a guy helping me with my nervous system. And as soon as my family gets the name, this doctor drops out. Is that a coincidence? Of course not. They do this shit all the fucking time. A doctor's helping me, they make sure to fucking make him leave. Fucking, I could help the doctors understand what my mother, why she's dying of liver failure. No, my father makes sure I don't get to go to tell them what's really going on. My mother gives me an overdose at age 5, 6, 7, and I'm starting to speak up at the doctor's office. Let's go to Texas. I start speaking up at the doctor's office in Texas. Let's send him to New Mexico. Now, there are no doctors in New Mexico for 18 months. I literally just wander rattlesnakes and shit with another little girl who's getting abused. Then they bring me to New Mexico to Maine. They don't even bring me back to the same doctors in Texas. They bring me to Maine. No doctors in Maine either. What the fuck? I've been complaining of real health issues for years. Why am I not seeing any doctors? Then after Maine, I'm back to Mass. Then my mother really starts lying. Oh, she really starts lying about me and a half. Every time I jump in a pool and get a cut on the back of my foot, I'm self-harming. Anytime. It got to the point where I wanted to know what the fuck my mother was talking about. So I tried actually to cut after I think it was 5 years of having on my record that I'm a cutter already. My mother's already made up story. I mean, don't forget, at age 5, my mother already had established that I was self-harming by sucking on my skin. So I already been having therapists from doctor go along with my mother's fantasies, and I always have to tell them, she's lying, she's lying, she's lying. She's acting hateful, evil. I don't have words for what she's doing, but I can tell you she's lying. That's what she's doing. She's lying. And now I am telling the God's honest truth, and you think anybody in my family fucking cares? If they did, they would come down here, give me a call. They would help me financially. I mean, god damn, this is about the worst motherfucking thing you can do to a child. And yet everybody thinks it's hunky-dory that I have to live in somebody else's fantasy land. Everybody thinks it's hunky-dory that there is fraudulent, made-up fucking records and I can't get proper medical care. Does the government think that this is okay to do to an orphan? Literally, I'm an orphan. I was taken from my mother and put in an orphanage. And then from that orphanage, I was put in an adopted family. But this was older. My mother was way, way old. They even said they might be too old to take care of children. Well, oh yeah, that's sure. Oh my God, crippling a child like me, that's fucked up. Yeah, you are too old. You guys are way too old, but that doesn't take your choices back. You guys made choices. Now it's time to pay for them one way or a fucking another. You guys either can pay for them with God, you can pay for them with me, or you can pay for them with the government. But either motherfucking way, you're gonna pay. Either you're gonna take responsibility with the government and me, or you can go take up with God. And if I need to, I'll make sure I put up a fight in the process. Because I'm not going down without a fight. I'm not spending 20 motherfucking years with somebody fucking crippling me, poisoning me, trying to brainwash me, manipulating and take evasive action, and then a father pretending like it's fake after he's fucking seen so much. No, I am not standing for that type of shit.